How's it going, pirates? Do you guys remember this TIE Striker that I got with my trade from radtoyzgalaxy? As you can see, I made a few modifications.
I've made a lot of special modifications myself.
And as I had mentioned in the previous video with this vehicle, I was going to make this, or I was thinking about making it into a submersible. Well, I've changed my mind. Well, first of all, I removed this glass, which I can probably use in another build. And I removed the wings for now, as I do some adjustments to the overall vehicle. I've removed these clips from the ship because I didn't need those anymore. I'll probably be putting maybe thrusters in that position now, or maybe weapons, I don't know. But for now, the wings have been removed along with those clips. I've also pulled out part of the Nerf gun portion, or I snapped it off. I was trying to pull it out and I ended up breaking it, so pulled that out. I prefer without it anyways. The cockpit's still going to remain intact. However, what I'm going to be doing that's different is I'll be adding a new cockpit. As you can see here, this B-wing is what I'll be adding to the front of this, and it's going to elongate the overall vehicle. Once I add the wings, you guys will see what my influence for this vehicle was. If any of you guys have played Knights of the Old Republic, you guys will know it was my influence. And you'll see more of that once the wings are on. You may have a hard time seeing it right now. But so right now what I need to do is, in order for that cockpit to fit, I need to gemmel out this lower section here so that the cockpit can fit onto that TIE fighter body, because of the fact that there's this little section at the bottom of the cockpit that needs to fit into here. So I'm going to go and do that off camera, and I'll come back in just a moment.
A few moments later.
So can you guys see where my influence is for this ship? How about now? Can you see it? How about now? Can you see it? Yep, that's right. The Sith Starfighter. That's where I got the idea to make this one. And of course, it looks a little bit off right now because the cockpits and the rest of the ship are two different colors. But once I can get that uniform, it's going to look awesome. So before, I was going to use that front cockpit section here to make a speeder because I didn't have a canopy. So I'm going to have to look and see if I can find that online or find a reproduction that I can put on there. So now we have both the pilot seat, and in the back we can still put either, I can call it a co-pilot, or what I might make it is the weapon specialist, because I'm going to add some additional weapons to this. And then underneath, what I'll be doing is where the section was to hold the bombs, I'd like to put thrusters there. I think it would look pretty cool if I could put some additional thrusters on there. But yeah, you guys can let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And I personally think it looks really cool. Especially once I add the thrusters to it, it's going to look badass. I still don't know which thrusters I'm going to use, but I'm sure I could find something that'll be pretty cool. And so yeah, don't forget to like this video if you like what you've seen so far. Share it with anyone you think might like it. And I'll show you the other project that I was working on this week. You guys remember this Outrider and my plans to turn it into a new vehicle? So as you can see, I've done some work since that image. So I've gemmeled out this section here so I can fit a cockpit there, a single seat cockpit. And that seat that you're seeing there is from the N1 Starfighter. Now, because I just recently did a trade with radtoyzgalaxy, I have an extra. So I cut that other one apart because I was going to turn that into the Mandalorian N1 Starfighter. Just didn't like how it looked. So I cut it up and I decided to use this canopy, and I'm going to actually be fitting that into this section here. Now, I don't measure it or any of that kind of stuff. I kind of eyeball everything, so hopefully it'll work out. But that will fit in there, something like this. Obviously, it's not properly fitted yet, but it'll eventually fit in there. I had it fit in there at one point, but then it popped out and I couldn't get it back in there. So that will be where the pilot will be seated. And then this section here, I'm going to be dremeling this portion out so that I can put a turret in there. I was thinking of maybe using the his tank turret from one of the older his tanks that I have and put it in there, and then maybe add a bubble canopy on top of that, so that way the weapon system operator will be at the back of this particular vehicle. Now, I'm going to go with the fact that this is a Carillion design, so it is the Outrider, but because it wasn't to scale, I figured, hey, the Carillion shipyards decide to make a starfighter version of one of their Carillion freighters. Now, because it's smaller scale, it kind of fits in with the aesthetic of all the other Carillion designs. So I think that'll look pretty cool. This middle section here will no longer have the ability to rotate anymore because of the fact that these will all be glued together. And then on the sides, I'll be now adding these cannons, which I got from my Transformer Jetfire, or is it Skyfire? I always forget his name. But yeah, they will be sitting on either side like so, just to add some weaponry to this particular starfighter. I think it'll turn out pretty cool. You guys can let me know in the comments down below how you think it's going so far. And of course, subscribe if you're new, so that way you can follow me along, and make sure you hit that notification bell just to make sure that you get all of my updates when I deliver them every week. And be sure to check out my other videos in the Weekly WIP, and that is now the official series name, is the Weekly WIP, thanks to 4 people who have voted, and that's the title of this series that I'm going to go with. For all those that voted, thank you very much. To all those that have subscribed so far, thank you so much. To those that are new, subscribe. Like it if you liked what you've seen so far today. And be sure to share this with anyone who you think might enjoy this. Now, some of the other customs that I worked on this week, this one's actually a figure custom. I made 2 things actually. I made this cool new assault axe rifle. I think that came out pretty cool. And as you can see, I made if you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen these pictures, but I made a futuristic Dutch predator outfit bounty hunter. I gave him the shoulder cannon here, as you can see. I gave him the face mask, which I got off of one of my other predators. And you can see that at the back of it, I added this rubber band, not rubber band, but elastic, so that way it could actually be placed on his head. And these 2 gauntlets, however you want to pronounce it, were actually the forearms of a predator that I had to dremel out so that way I can fit his actual forearm. So they actually do slide onto his forearms. Not easily, but it worked out with a little bit of heat. And I think he actually looks pretty cool. So this mask does come off, as you can see here. And to reveal my custom Arnold Schwarzenegger head that I bought online. But yeah, I think it looks pretty cool. You guys can let me know what you think about this guy as well. There's going to be a backstory that I'm going to be working on, and you can follow me on Instagram for that. And the other thing that I'm working on is on this load lifter. Into these little holes here, I'm actually adding some magnets, so that way the cage that goes onto the front of this will hopefully clip on a little bit easier, because it's anyone who owns this is the Higher Toys load lifter. Anyone who owns one of these knows that it's a pain in the butt to try to get that cage on and off. Sometimes it just pops off on its own. So I figured magnets would, like the small, tiny, little heavy magnets, should hold that little cage canopy in place. So those are the 2 different customs figures that I've been working on, and the 2 vehicles that I've been working on this week.
But wait, there's more.
So here's the other thing that I worked on this week. This is the Edgepoint Station spaceport. This will be where passengers board and disembark ships. And so yeah, I still have 2 more platforms to add to this. I will be eventually adding lights, and then just below where the Naboo shuttle is will be the section where the passengers wait for their ships to arrive. Now, I do apologize for the mess in the background. I am reorganizing the basement so that I can build an Edgepoint Station. So I've had to clear out a whole bunch of things. The walls still need to be painted. And that section in there, that little closet, is actually going to be my docking bay. So there'll be several levels where ships will be parked. And I wanted to get the Ghost, but unfortunately I had to back out of that just because it's not in the budget, which is a shame because I initially backed it, and then as I checked my budget for the year, I realized, yeah, that's not going to happen. So unfortunately, I have to pass up on that. Yet another HasLab that I can't get. For all those that are getting one, I'm so happy for you guys. I'm jealous, but hey, it's not that important. It's just another thing, right? Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Feel free to comment. Again, as I always say, like if you've liked what you've seen so far, and feel free to subscribe if you're brand new. Anyways, pirates, until next time, have a good one.